I sense your aggravation, your frustration as I watched your Twitter feed, and you were in the minority on X, which again, it was just, I mean, X is completely saturated in neocons, the pro-Israel crowd, and people who would love to cheerlead us right into another Middle East ground war that's endless. I was grateful for your contrary perspective, Marjorie. Thank you for being here today, and give us your overall view on why you're against this.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Megyn. And I completely agree with everything you said in your intro. I'd also like to point out that X is saturated in bots as well, and paid social media influencers who just echo whatever their money tells them to say, the money that they're getting paid for. And so I think that just like our media has been nothing but propaganda for as long as you and I can remember, I think social media has turned into the same thing. What I do know is most Americans, and it's being proved in polling that's coming out, most Americans are completely against this war because, like you said, the president has made no case for it. We live our ordinary lives and we don't feel threatened by Iran. We don't walk around thinking that in any moment an Iranian ballistic missile is going to land on our head. We don't. Here's what Americans, and I want to read off this list. This is what Americans are focused on. 72% of Americans can't afford health insurance. 58% of Americans can't afford car insurance. 67% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 31% of Americans can't afford their back taxes. 50% of Americans are in credit card debt, massive credit card debt. That's where we are in America. And I campaigned with the president. As a matter of fact, I was one of the only Republicans that was out there for Donald Trump when the rest of the neocons, by the way, that are just cheering him on now, had abandoned him and were trying to beat him in a primary and stop him from being president again. I was out there on the front lines for Make America Great Again. And Make America Great Again was supposed to be America first, not Israel first, not any foreign country first, not any foreign people first, but the American people first and our problems. And God bless the Iranian people. I hope to God that they can have a government that is for them and that treats women fairly. But what we have seen happen right now is we have seen over 100 little girls killed at a school from a bomb. And I don't know whose bomb it was, but they're dead today because America and Israel attacked Iran. So that's not really good for Iranian women. And our president is saying that the Iranian people are all of a sudden going to topple their regime. Well, I don't think the Iranian people are going to be toppling their regime when they're getting blown apart by the United States and Israel in an unprovoked attack. And yes, it was unprovoked. And Pete Hegseth said this morning, Megyn, he said that we didn't start this war. But I hate to argue with the Secretary of the Department of War. America and Israel definitely started this war, and you can't lie that away to the American people. And so, you know how I feel right now? I am irate. I am furious about this. We are nearly $40 trillion in debt. How much is this war going to cost us? We have seen enough of our American troops dead and murdered for foreign countries. And now we've had 4 dead and murdered, just like you said, for Israel and for the Iranian people, not for the American people. And I don't want to see any more dead and murdered. Our military is filled with some of the greatest people from our country, and God bless their families who are probably losing their minds right now, terrified that their son or daughter or their husband or wife or brother or sister may come home in a flag draped coffin. And then we have the president who, by the way, Megyn, this really needs to be said. Donald Trump has said repeatedly on camera and in interviews, he doesn't think he's going to heaven. Well, I want to ask a question, a serious question. What is in his mind? What is his mental state? If he doesn't think he's going to heaven and he is a man towards the end, he's in the 4th quarter, he's towards the end of his life. How does that pan out for the rest of us when we have a president of the United States who doesn't think and is convinced he's not going to heaven? What does that mean his decision making is? He already said to the New York Post today that he doesn't care about the polling. He doesn't care about what the American people think, and he may put troops on the ground. He took this is going to be a few-day war, to now it's going to be maybe 4 weeks or more. I want to say, what is happening to the man that I supported, you supported, the man that denounced what happened in Iraq, the man that said no more foreign wars, no more regime change, promised it on the campaign. J.D. Vance promised it. Tulsi Gabbard promised it. All of them promised it. And we're a year in, and we're in another fucking war, and we've got American troops being killed. I think it's time for America to rip the Band-Aid off, and we need to have a serious conversation about what the fuck is happening to this country and who in the hell are these decisions being made for, and who is making these decisions.
Mm-hmm. The president on the heaven thing has said he was being cheeky about that he actually doesn't have worries. But I understand your greater point. Who is making the decisions? Because the President Trump that was talking to us about going in and, we're going to, the Iranian people, they're going to thank me, I did you a favor. I made you a promise and I lived up to it. He was talking to the Iranian people, not the American people.
Yeah.
I made you a promise and I lived up. What do you mean? They didn't vote for you.
That's right.
They weren't on the campaign trail for you. Nope. We're the ones who are putting our best and bravest at risk right now. And he says the Iranian people it's up to them to now sort of take the baton and like install new leadership. They have no guns. They're sheltering in place because we're bombing their country right now. How are they what is the plan for them to then take the baton and install a new leader? Mm-hmm. How are they going to do that with the IRGC still intact and there still being Iranian leaders? Not everybody was wiped out. And his comments to the press today seem to be, they're going to lay down their arms and join with the Iranian patriots.
No, they're not.
Based on what?
Yeah.
Based on what? So if that doesn't happen willingly, just by the grace of God, okay, we're going to do it, then we are going to have to do it, or Israel's going to have to do it. And the more Israel fights, the more we have to fight, MTG, because that's what got us into this mess to begin with. We saw they were going to head and do it, and we felt like we had no choice because they were going to attack our bases first thing as soon as Israel did it.
That's right. No, you're absolutely right. And I heard an analyst say today that okay, we've killed approximately maybe 40 or more of their top leadership and the Ayatollah. Well, guess what? The cleric ruling class is about 50,000 deep in their government. Are we going to kill all 50,000 of them before they can bring a new government in? And while this is happening, Megyn, we're bombing them. We are bombing them and killing their people and destroying their buildings and wreaking havoc on their entire ability to function in daily life. Do we really think these people are going to be saying, oh, thank you, America. Thank you. God bless you. We're killing them and killing their children. So I think we're radicalizing a whole new generation of Iranians.
That's what I worry about too.
That don't remember, like me and you, we don't remember we were kids when the last regime was taken out and this new regime was put in. And I think this whole thing this is not what we voted for, Megyn. It is absolutely America last. It's the same bullshit we've seen for decades now. And I don't think the president is being tongue in cheek. I know that man very well. And he repeatedly says he's not going to heaven, the same way he repeatedly says that what do you think? Should I run for president again? I think that started out as we could take it as a joke, but I don't think he's joking. And I know you're not willing to go there, but I am. I really want to know, what is his mental state and who is he doing this for? Because it's not for the American people. He's lying. He's gone back on what he promised. No more foreign wars, no more regime change. And I want to know, where the hell is J.D. Vance? Where is he? Where is Tulsi Gabbard? Because if they stand by and are silent, and they're turning back on the same words they said. It's all on video. All of them are on video saying it, just like I'm on video saying no more foreign wars, no more regime change. I'm on video on campaign stages and at Trump rallies saying the exact same thing. But where's JD and where's Tulsi? And the president...
Well, I'm sure behind the scenes, at least JD has worked to stop this, but he's lost. I mean, that's
he's got to say
what's obvious now is any detractor. The same way Tucker went in and tried to talk Trump out of this, and he lost and admitted the Mark Levins of the world have won.
Yep.
I mean, Mark Levin and Lindsey Graham, forgive me, spent the entire weekend with a massive hard-on. There's just no... You could see it in the commentary. They were thrilled. They were gleeful. I mean, they were just overly excited at the fact that we were now risking American troops' lives for Israel. And what does Lindsey Graham do to go out there and like quell anybody's concerns that that's what we're doing? You know, he just keeps doubling down and doubling down. And now he's mentioning Cuba. Hold on. Do we have that? Yes. Here he is on FNC Sunday night. This is SOT 16.
Is President Trump finished the job that President Reagan failed to do? I am a big admirer of Ronald Reagan, but I'm here to tell you that Donald Trump, in my opinion, is the gold standard for Republicans, maybe any president, and when it comes to foreign policy. Maduro, everybody talked about him. Well, Donald Trump's got him in jail. Cuba's next. They're going to fall. This communist dictatorship in Cuba, their days are numbered. The Iranian regime, the mothership of international terrorism, is about to collapse. The captain of the ship, the Ayatollah, is stone cold dead.
Cuba's next, they're going to fall. This is after Trump on Friday. We played this bite on our show on Friday, saying maybe we'll have a friendly takeover of Cuba, which we don't know what that means. But now they're talking about Cuba. And let me just give you one more, MTG. The former prime minister of Israel, Naftali Bennett, was at the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations in Jerusalem on February 17th. And listen to what he said then. SOT 20.
A new Turkish threat is emerging. I want to be very clear. Turkey and Qatar have gained influence in Syria, are seeking influence elsewhere and everywhere throughout the region. And from here, I warn, Turkey is the new Iran. Erdogan is sophisticated, dangerous, and he seeks to encircle Israel. And while some senior Israelis were on Qatar's payroll, Qatar and Turkey are nourishing the Islamic Brotherhood monster that is growing and eventually might become as dangerous as the one created by Iran. Turkey and Qatar are gaining influence not only in Syria, but also in Gaza, through the front door, and everywhere, and trying to create a new choke ring. Turkey is trying to flip Saudi Arabia against us and establish a hostile Sunni axis with nuclear Pakistan.
So where does it end?
I shared that on my social media as well. I think Israel, and I'm talking about the government of Israel, I think these people, they literally are trying to start World War III. It's completely out of control. It will never end. War will continue when Israel is pushing the United States and demanding that we wage war with them. It will continue as long as we're alive. It will never end. And Lindsey Graham, I saw a video of him this morning, and he was choking back tears, swallowing back tears, because he was saying he was so proud of President Trump for declaring war and going to war with Iran. He wasn't choking back tears for the American military members that have been killed and their families who are mourning their deaths right now. He's choking back tears because he's so happy about war. Megyn, I can remember on a campaign stage in Lindsey Graham's home county where he was born and went to elementary school, where he's from. I stood on that stage and spoke before him, and I said, no more foreign wars, no more regime change. And I said, we're going to end the war in Ukraine. The crowd went nuts, thousands of people. Then Lindsey Graham came out right behind me and spoke right after me, and they booed him for 10 minutes on stage. That was a little over, I think it was about a year and a half ago. It was during the campaign. They booed him in his home county for 10 minutes straight. But when you watch a video like that from the former prime minister of Israel, all I can think about is the military-industrial complex. Those guys are lighting up their cigars, drinking their whiskey, and patting each other on the back because all they can think about is how much money they're going to make off the American taxpayers, making bombs, building new aircraft, building new drones, and building all kinds of military equipment just to kill people all over the world. While the American people, all they want is to be able to fucking afford a house, afford health insurance, and be able to maybe live the dream like the baby boomers did and live a family that can live on a single family income and not have both parents working themselves to death so their children have to live in daycare and grow up in daycare. And that's the reality that we're in, Megyn.
Think about this. In 2006, $20,000 equaled roughly 33 ounces of gold at spot price. Okay, $20,000 got you 33 ounces. At today's prices, those 33 ounces would be worth about $165,000. That would have been a very good investment. And that's why so many smart Americans do diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals. They're thinking about what's going to happen in the next 20 years. And it's also why you should consider buying gold from Birch Gold Group. For thousands of years, gold has been a store of wealth. And today, it is a crucial part of any balanced strategy. Even better, Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered retirement account in gold. All you have to do is text MK to the number 989898, and that will give you a free info kit on gold. There's no obligation. It's just useful information from which you can make a decision. With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, let Birch Gold help you diversify with gold. Now that's peace of mind. Again, text MK to 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.